Okay? I just want to talk. That's all. Um, Boo! Did I scare you? I sure hope I did. Because today, what are we doing? We're reading horror stories in the dark. As you can see, it is very dark out behind me. I'm in a spooky little park. I don't think anybody's gonna come here. Like, it's like a sport area, and it's been raining all day, so I don't think anyone's gonna come here. Boo! Boo! Baka! Oh my god, what am I doing? Reddit, what is your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real story? And then in brackets it says serious. A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. Why is it sweet? The guy had clearly been there a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various runny bits. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive and it got dark and I was just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him and he would talk to me in say not nice things, mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place and he wanted me to kill myself. Wait, this is actually really scary. I just got full body chills. That's terrifying. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time and no doubt will be tonight after typing this. Oh, bitch, I'm unwell. That was crazy. Like, it was fine up until she was having, oh my god. Because, like, I feel like that's not something like, oh, I just came across a dead body. Like, why would your brain, like, your own brain, think that, like, you were disturbing this person when this person, like, what? That's crazy. Um, wow. Okay. Real life ghost stories. I don't know if I want to hear. Wait, actually, maybe ghost stories is the way to go because I have a couple stories, um, that like it could either be ghosts or like hallucinations. I don't know. I don't know why, but when other people are talking about their ghost stories, I don't believe them unless like we're like really deep in conversation about them and we're like, and then they, like then it's like okay, I feel like you can't be lying. Like you're just fucking too real. I'm hungry. When I was about 10, all of my cousins and siblings were over, about 10 of us there. The parents and grandparents were out for an adult dinner, so it was just the kids sitting around watching a few movies, when all of a sudden the house shook and there was a large flash coming from the backyard. It felt as if a bomb dropped. We all heard, felt, and saw it, and as a pack we ran into the hallway. The eldest cousins in the group debated on calling the police, but opted to call the parents. After a few minutes, we gained our courage and ventured out into the living room again, this time with weapons, just in case. That's always good. It's always good to have weapons in situations like this. After a half hour with no other issues, the parents came home and thought we were insane. There was nothing wrong with the backyard and no neighbors reported anything. It's been 10 years and we still talk about it, trying to figure out what it was. That has been the scariest thing to happen to me by far. Interesting. I don't know. Sometimes there's just loud noises and shit. Like, I remember this one time. It was when I was like younger, and I would go visit my grandparents, and I would sleep in my grandma's bed, and literally like, um, this one night, it was probably the most scared I've ever been. Like, jump scared, I guess. Yeah, like it's the most jump scared I've ever been, and we were just like laying in bed before falling asleep. Um, Talking and the window was always open like before we went to sleep and this fucking ambulance like puts all the lights and sirens on as they're passing right by our window and it just felt like an explosion in our minds. Like, it was just so fucking loud for some reason. Like, it was actually crazy. We both, like, like, I was, like, I'm the type of person where if I get scared, I'll, like, scream. I'll be like, ah, 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 you know? So, like, I was doing that, and the whole house woke up. And then there was another time where fucking my grandpa had to, like, go away for work, and so we were all, like, alone with my grandma, and she literally armed us with pool balls. Like, we all had, like, a stack of pool balls next to our bed so that we could, like, beat the shit out of somebody that, like, came in. And I can't remember what she had. I don't think she had a specific weapon. Or no, her specific weapon was her phone. She had this big, she just loved those, like, phones, like, and the ones that, like, you know? She had this big gold phone that could literally kill someone. Like, it was heavy as fuck. And that was her, like, weapon of choice. But I was like, what are you gonna do with that, though? Because, like, it would take quite, like, not a lot, but it would take a little bit of strength to pick it up and throw it at the person, right? And it's plugged into the wall. And you can't throw the, like, earpiece thing at them because that's corded, too. And so I was just always like, what's the plan with this telephone? Like, you know? We never had to use any of the pool balls or the telephone, but, like, I like to think that if we did, we would win, you know? Like, I'm, like, somebody just comes in with a gun and starts shooting, and I'm just, like, throwing pool balls at the bullets, like, crazy shit. I once sat across from a guy who told me about killing his girlfriend, him cutting her into pieces and boiling her head. He explained why he killed her and wished he could talk to the parents so they could understand that what he did was a good thing. It wasn't. I sat with him for 45 minutes as he went into detail. It was the most surreal 45 minutes of my life. His sources, he worked in a max security mental health facility. Oh, okay, because, like, when you said you sat across from him, I just thought we were in, like, a restaurant or something, and you're just chatting it up with him, you know? I didn't know that this was, like, your job, you know? That changes things a little bit, you know? Okay, so this happened to me last summer when I was back at my parents' house during the holidays. It was around 3 a.m. and I was in my room on my computer when I got a call from my sister. Now, that was already a little bit weird since my sister's room is just down the hallway from mine and she could have just came in my room. I went to pick up and the call ended as soon as I reached the phone. I figured that she wanted to speak with me, so I got up and went to her room. As soon as I reached her door, she started screaming that someone was in the room with her, so I busted in and of course nobody was here. After she stopped crying, she told me that she woke up and saw a dark shadow just centimeters from her face, and that's when she screamed. So I told her that she called me. She told me that her phone is not in her room and that she was sleeping. Sure enough, her phone is actually downstairs in her purse. The weird part is that I have the log of her call on my phone, but she doesn't. Never managed to explain this one. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I feel like this person is either fucking lying or, like... Because how the fuck do only one of you guys have the call log? Like, because, like, okay, here's the thing. Did you look at your phone and see a phone number or your sister's contact? Because if it was your sister's contact, then it could have just been somebody fucking with you and, like, changing shit in your phone. But then, I don't know, their stories are so, like, they go together. But also the sister, like, I guess maybe I would, I don't know. But if I was, like, walking up to my sibling's room and they just started screaming that there was somebody in there, I don't know if my first thought would be to bash the door down. I'd be like, are they, like, gonna kill you? I don't know, maybe not, but, like, I don't know. That just, you know, I kind of want to read this one because it's interesting. It's about a hot tub, and I'm like, what kind of horror story could a hot tub be about? I was delivering a hot tub to this contractor in this fancy gated community near Branson. When I arrived, the construction workers were in charge of telling me where the thing was supposed to go. It was going on the 4th floor balcony, but because of the way the house was built, the 4th floor was ground floor. The other 3 floors were on the side of a hill, but the driveway was even with the first 4th floor entrance, if that makes sense. So a lot of construction going on, but to get the hot tub on the balcony, I had to make a ramp, take it from the drive, down into the yard, up a ramp to the porch, through the living room door, across the living room, out the back patio doors, onto the deck. Problem with this, the deck was unfinished. What? Why are people getting a hot tub when they don't have a finished deck? They had literally installed only enough decking so that I could go from the patio doors to the far corner of the deck where the hot tub would sit. There was no railing. The hot tub weighed 900 pounds, and it was a 4-story drop if I fell. Oh, the construction workers volunteered to help me. We got it out onto the deck, crossed the narrow bridge of installed decking to the corner, and I was about to lay it down. Laying it down isn't that hard. You tilt it, bring it down to your lap, grab the strap securing it to the dolly, and lower it to the deck. It's very controlled, and I've done it 1,000 times. However, this deck wasn't finished, so the contractor wanted to leave it on its edge. It's a lot harder to take it off when standing it up because the dolly is under a 900-pound tub. But I've done it before. I told him that he would have to put blocks under one side of the dolly. The deck wasn't wide enough to allow me to do this safely. I propped the strap on the hot tub, put the blocks under, and I tilted the hot tub, but that put me with my feet 4 inches from the edge of the deck with nothing but 4 stories of air behind me. Why are you doing this? This is crazy. We were able to free the dolly on one side, but not the other. The hot tub had to be leaned over further toward me. I tell everyone to freeze, and they do. I didn't want anyone messing with it because I had to shift my feet back 5 inches so my heels were off the deck. I'm freaking out, but it's all going smooth. I have a construction worker on each side of me helping support the tub. 3 construction workers freeing the dolly and 1 useless worker playing with the strap that is going to secure the tub to the house so that the wind doesn't blow the tub over. Okay, it's not the worker's fault. Let's not call him useless. Maybe he is useless, who knows. It works for him, but unfortunately for me, I didn't have my feet set yet. I shout that I'm... Wait, what? You're falling? Wait, I missed a step. Hold on. We are inches from having the dolly freed when one of the construction workers freeing the dolly gets impatient and kicks the corner of the tub to dislodge it from the dolly. It works for him, but unfortunately for me, I didn't have my feet set yet. I shout that I'm falling. The 2 guys beside me take the weight of the tub, but no one can get to me. My arms are windmilling. I'm bent almost double backwards, trying my damnedest to stay on the deck. I can see the boulders down below at the corner of my eye. I'm falling, and there isn't anything I can do about it. I feel myself go. I'm falling. My heels slip out from under me, and no one can reach me, but then suddenly I'm flying forward. Something is under the small of my back, and it's slamming me into the bottom of the tub. The dolly is removed, and the tub stood up with me hugging it. Before I find out what saved me, the useless guy playing with the strap had already secured one end to the house. When I fell, the strap was already behind me, hanging off the deck. The construction worker pulled it tight with all his might, arresting my fall. It wasn't there for that purpose, but he saved my life that day. I would have been dead if not for him. So he's useless, but he saved your life. Funny how that works. I thanked him by sending him and his wife and kid to Breckenridge, Colorado for Christmas. Whoa, you're rich. It was actually a vacation I'd saved for and was about to surprise my wife and daughter with, but I felt he deserved it more. Whoa! What the fuck is wrong with men? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. That is so unnecessary. You don't owe somebody for saving your life. That's just like the right thing to do, you know? Like if that man didn't try, and nobody tried to save your life there, then I mean, I don't know. I feel like people who work jobs like that, they get away with so fucking much bullshit. But like you have to help people if you can. That's crazy. There was a TLDR. That's not even a scary story. I feel like I got like duped. My grandmother swore by this story till her dying day. It was during the war in London and my dad was a baby. She was bombed out of her house and was staying with a friend. She makes it work. We love that. The friend had set her up in a room on the top floor. Anyway, she was taking my dad upstairs to bed when a figure materialized on the stairs telling her not to sleep in that room tonight. She noped back downstairs and told her friend that she and my dad were sleeping in the sitting room that night. Her friend was annoyed but agreed. That night a bomb exploded near the house and the roof caved in right on top of my dad's cot. He would have been killed. Girl, that was an angel. I have a very similar story. My grandma was around 7 and lived in Germany during World War II. Her town was getting bombed regularly. One day her little brother kept crying and begged to stay in their neighbor's house for the night. Her parents were okay with it and they went to stay with the neighbors. That night a bombing run came through and their house was completely destroyed. It's crazy how close I was to not existing. Actually, this is the perfect time to segue into my personal horror story. Or well, it's not. It's actually, I guess I'll talk about mine first and then I'll talk about the one that would have been real bad for me if it happened. I mean they're both but like different meanings, I guess. So like when we moved to the city that I live in now, it was like 4 condos attached into one big building. So it was like the one that I lived in, and then there was 3, and so I was on the end. My family was on the end, and there was this. It was like a whole street of them that was in the shape of like a circle, and so it was like 4 condos, and then like grass space in the middle, and then 4 more condos. So the people who lived on the end, they got to share the in-between space, which I think is really unfair to all the people in the middle, because it's like, why can't everyone just share the grass spaces? Like, we know where we live, we'll stay to the closest grass space, you know? But anyway, so this was like our designated spot shared with the person living next to us. Was like this old fucking person who like often had issues with us playing there, but it was designated for like the people that live there, and I live there, so it's like, bitch, just because you're not using it doesn't mean I can't. And also I would like to say there were so many, like, we had so many ops there because we were one of the only people that were renting. So just like a very like, they weren't all rich people, but they were wealthy. They were like all people who were like either just starting a family and they had a lot of money, or they were like getting to the end of their life and they wanted to chill in like a chill spot. And so this one day I was playing outside by myself, and so like the grass space in the middle is kind of a hill too. So like you walk into the front door of the condo, and that's like considered like, I guess it's not the main floor, it's the entrance, and then you would walk up these stairs and that would be the main floor, and then there would be like a walkout like to the backyard, and that would be like the top of the hill. I don't know if that made any sense, but this one day I'm playing, and then I go over to like the grass area, and I'm at the bottom of the hill, like in front of my house kind of, and this old fucking man is standing at the top, and he's standing like he's basically just around the corner of like my backyard fence. Like, he is just like barely showing himself like around this corner, and he had a leash, and the leash was off into like the bush next to the fence. And I immediately, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I don't think that guy has a dog. I was like, I don't know why. It was just giving me weird vibes. It was giving like guy who wants somebody to think that he has a dog. And he was talking to me, and he was like, hey, you want to come pet my dog? Like, come see my dog. And just talking all this shit. And like, luckily, like, my fucking parents, they're the type of people, and it was luckily in this situation, otherwise it just kind of doesn't really serve you, like, your children in any way. But they were like, if somebody offers you something, say no. It could have been like somebody at school, like literally somebody that I know, but they were always like, don't take anything from anyone because people expect things from you. And it's like, wow, great thing to tell a child. And so no, I was immediately like, I don't want to fucking come see your dog. The fuck? You're the killer. You're literally the killer. And I was at that moment, I was like, this guy's trying to fucking I think he is anyway. I still have no idea what he was doing there to this day. But yeah, I think I was gonna get kidnapped there. And fuck that guy. I'm still kicking. I'm still kicking it. I'm still around, bitch. You can't kick me down. And also, I think the other thing is just because I'm not a dog person. I don't fuck with dogs. They're loud, gross, annoying. I want dogs to have a great fucking life just away from me, you know? That's my vibe. But yeah, and then my other kidnapping story is about my mom, actually. She was a kid once, and my great-grandma was babysitting her. And what happened is, my mom was like playing outside on her bike in the back alley. Great-grandma was fucking sleeping on the couch or watching TV or something. And some man literally tried to grab her. Like, she fought off a man when she was like a little child. And I just think about that. I'm like, whoa, girl, you better have fought or else I wouldn't be here. The fuck? It's like, that's my version of like the troops. Like, I am so grateful that my mother fought in that moment, because actually, I mean, I don't know, contradicting myself because fuck living. But you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be sitting here yapping right now if she got kidnapped, probably. This one sounds good. Back in 2004, I was a young, dumb 17-year-old country girl in the city for the first time for college. Girl, if I had $1 for every young, dumb country girl I met, I don't know what it is, but they just, I don't know. I think it's because the country men have, like, no fucking, what is it called? Like, country men have no survival instincts whatsoever. They just want to, like, kill everything. And, like, they think they're so macho and they're, like, incapable of being, like, killed and stuff. And that, like, I've had friends where it's like they hang out with a lot of country people and they literally thought they could do anything because they're with these, like, rundown fucking hicks and shit. And it's like, girl, no, like, you're a human being. Like, those people are teetering the lines between, like, human being and fucking monster. Like, you are not them. Back in 2004, one night I decided I could totally safely walk back to my dorm at around 1:30 in the morning despite not really knowing where I was. Of course, I instantly end up wandering around a terrible part of the city. Most of the street lights are busted out, trash everywhere, loud arguments from inside the dilapidated as fuck row houses. I hate that word, dilapidated, because it should be dilapidated. That sounds like it hits more. Dilapidated. It's dilapidated, not dilapidated. It's dilapidated. That sounds like carbon dating. Like, it sounds like we're, like, deciding how fucking old these houses are. Like, the way that they fucking figure out how fucking old dinosaur bones are. You know what I mean? Dilapidated. I'm gonna say that from now on. In short, I wouldn't even want to be here in the middle of the day. A car drives up behind me and slows down, so they're keeping pace with me for nearly an entire block. I look over and there are 5 unsavory-looking men inside. By this point, I was approaching an intersection and they pull up. Now we're talking about men. I gotta lock the door. They pull up, make a left, and stop in the street directly in my path. Motherfuck. See, this is the part where, like, I don't know, because I've never had this happen to me, but I've had instances where I knew people were, like, following me back when I lived in a city and I went to university and the university was, like, downtown, so I lived downtown. And I'm not even fucking kidding you. If I ever stepped foot outside when there wasn't, like, school things going on, it genuinely felt like I was gonna lose my life, like, some way. And I remember this one night, I was so fucking, like, hungry, and I didn't have food because I took a nap, and then I woke up too late, and now all the, like, food places in the school are closed. And so I had to walk to a Dollarama, and the Dollarama, like, guys, this area was terrible. I remember there was a pizza place behind the university, one street behind the university, one fucking block. You can leave out the back of the university and you see this pizza place. Even, like, standing in line there was fucking dangerous. Like, it was a crazy place to live. And I grew up there. I was born there. So I was shocked that it was this bad. I'd always heard that it was bad, but it's like, I swear to God, some nights I fucking heard someone getting murdered out my, like, dorm windows. Like, it was crazy. I completely panic at this point and just stand there right in front of them. My mind went completely blank. I've never been that scared in my life. It didn't even make sense to try to run because they would have caught me without question. I'm not really sure how long I stood there, but suddenly the porch light in the house just past the car came on. Dude casually strolls outside carrying a bag of trash and car peels away. I completely break down crying and shaking. Dude spots me and listens to my probably incoherent story, takes me inside and gives me a soda, then he and his roommate walk me back to my dorm. They were both lovely and invited me to check out their stand-up sometime, but unfortunately I was too young to get into a bar. I never saw them again, don't even remember their names, but feel pretty confident that if that guy hadn't decided to take his trash out at 1 a.m. on a Saturday, my life would have taken a really shitty turn that night. Wow. Yeah, and also, like, this is the part where it's like, your parents should be in fucking jail for letting somebody, like, be this stupid at this young of an age. Like, that's how you lose your life. You know? Parents don't get held accountable for nearly enough. It's crazy. Like, there were so many ways that I almost died because, like, or not almost died, that's dramatic, but there were so many situations I got myself in where it's like, if I wasn't, I don't know, I think it's literally my, like, overwhelming desire to continue existing, like, in my own circumstances and whatnot. Like, I will continue to exist until I, like, achieve happiness in any, like, even if it's, like, 1% of happiness. Like, girl, give it to me now. And so I feel like that alone is, like, my survival instinct is just my like overwhelming desire to exist and just like exist. Um okay, let's do one more because I don't want this to be too long. And also I'm spooked. I'm spooked, bitch. I'm spooked. Wait, let's end this with a paranormal one. First, I'm going to say I'm very skeptical of this kind of stuff, but I have had one encounter that I cannot explain. It may not sound spine-chilling reading it, but it creeped me out, and I still think about it all these years later. So I was 15 years old, and my mom and dad and I moved into a new house out in the country. When we moved, my parents had brand new carpet put in the house before we moved in. Our third night there, it was just my mom and I. My dad was gone for work, and my mom was telling me good night, and as she was walking out my door, she stops and looks at the floor and says, "That's creepy. Top 10 things you should never say to your child before they're about to go to bed." I get up and I look, and there's a full single small footprint in the carpet facing towards the doorway to my room. One footprint, and it was smaller than my mom's footprint and my footprint. We checked. It creeped my mom out and myself out because brand new carpet. No one else had been in the house since we moved in except us three. And the footprint was definitely not there the first 2 days we lived there. My mom is Old Testament religious and doesn't believe in that stuff, but even now, 13 years later, when I bring it up, she refuses to talk about. I often wonder where that footprint came from and who it belonged to. I don't know, like, what if you just, like, lightly stepped on the carpet and, like, it didn't, like, show, like, how big your foot actually is, you know? But even then, that's, like, a weak explanation. I don't know, like, ghost stuff is so weird. Like, I feel like I've had a lot of ghost encounters in my life, but I've also experienced hallucinations. So I'm like, which one is it? Like, I was playing Mario Galaxy when I was a kid so fucking much one day that, and, like, so much back then was, like, 3 hours max, maybe. I hallucinated so fucking bad that I thought, everyone was screaming at, like, max volume when they were just talking at normal volume. So I had to spend, like, a whole day and the whole night too in my parents', like, bed, like, under the blankets, because it was the furthest room from just where things were happening. And I'm not even kidding you, like, they would be making dinner and I would just hear every little, like, pot bang, like, but it sounded like war was going on outside. Like, it was actually really scary, and that happened to me twice. And I think that's probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I always say that, though. And then, like, this is why I'm like, I don't know if it's ghost or hallucinations, because when I, like, when we moved into the house that my parents live in now, for the first couple months, like, I would just hear somebody, like, playing drums in the basement, and we don't have drums. Like, I would be upstairs, and I would hear, and it was so weird, because it was just like I was hearing, like, drums that were actually playing in person. It wasn't like, oh, I hear drums in my head. No, like, I can follow the sound. Follow me. Like, let's go see. And, nothing was ever there. Literally nothing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little stories that I read for you. I'm, like, actually kind of terrified. Like, what if somebody just, like, attacks me right now? Which is why I'm gonna go home. I hope that you enjoyed these spooky stories. I did enjoy them, but, like, girl, why the fuck am I doing this to myself? This is actually scary. I'm the type of person that walks by, like, a window late at night and I think there's a sniper waiting to get me. So why did I do this? I don't know. In a car, nonetheless, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know by giving it a like. And let me know by subscribing. But yeah, anyway. Peace. Have a good night, everyone. I know I will. Gets, like, murdered 10 seconds after.